We lived with my grandparents. Dad was away in the war, so mother and 3 children lived with grandparents. And my grandfather had a business. He was actually licensee of a small bar. Capacity, well, full, 1 room, capacity 30 people, but there were bars. There were 2 in 1 street. If you stood at our front door, you could see 3 or 4. And Christmas Day and Boxing Day and New Year's Day were the busiest days of the year. The place would be packed. So it was preparing to open the bar at 12. It closed at 2. By the time you got the customers out, it was past. Then you had to prepare for the evening session. So the meal that we had was at about 3:30, a bit late for lunch. And Mum had managed to get 6 ration books together, 2 grandparents, herself and 3 children, and go to the butcher and get some meat, probably a joint about that big, for 6 people. I had managed to scrounge some potatoes from somewhere, from roast, and find some flour and made, and a few other things, and made a Yorkshire pudding to go with it. But that was Christmas. That was Christmas. It was just almost another day, apart from a bit of a posh meal, as we thought it was. In '68, I'd married, came out here with 4 of my own children, and settled here, and started off in Geelong, came to Melbourne, and then to Sydney, and living on Colroy Beach, would you believe?
Very classy.
Oh, very classy, yes. In a duplex up on the cliff. Landlord, the owner, lived upstairs, and we had the ground floor. You might call it a luxury apartment. And the kids loved it. School on the beach, 2 schools on the beach. I suppose it was a children's Christmas, and we would have what we could manage in the way of Christmas lunches and dinners, and presents for the kids, and probably go down the beach for a swim in the afternoon, and they would. It was about children. It's about children. My most memorable Christmases, 2 come to mind. Number 1 was a non-event. I was in the army in Germany. Christmas Day, my name had come out of a hat to do guard duty. So here we are. I'm standing in the first stag, which is the 2 hours, 2 hours on, 2 hours off. In freezing cold, the snow's going that way. The sentry box I had to stand to attention in had more holes than timber, and it was cold. It was bitter cold. Snow was banking up. Temperature was probably 0 or just below. And at the end of the stag at 8 p.m, the sergeant said, "Now you guys can go to the cookhouse. The other guys have had their dinner. You go to the cookhouse, get your Christmas dinner." And Christmas dinner, we've been told, was roast turkey and beef, roast potatoes, that followed by plum pudding. We're looking forward to it. We got to the cookhouse. It was black. Nobody there. They'd forgotten about us. So we found a drunken cook, and he was, well, not so drunk as the others. And he said, "Oh dear, I'll rustle you up something." So for 4 of us, Christmas dinner was a fried egg sandwich. But on the positive side, coming to Australia, I ended up being a single parent with 4 children, and I met Adrian. And we married, and Christmas was at her parents' place, which is in Gordon. Beautiful terraced gardens and a swimming pool. The kids were just in seventh heaven. And Mary, that's Adrian's mother, would put on a typically English dinner. The turkey, the roast potatoes, the veg, the plum pudding with the brandy poured over it and set fire with the match. It was classic. It was classic. So that would be the most memorable and the most positive, and never to be forgotten. Christmas now means two things. One, going to church and having all the lovely old carols, which I just love. And the second thing is family. For us, it's church in the morning, and they're singing the beautiful carols, and then family in the afternoon. My favourite carol would be, I think, Good King Wenceslas. Although, I think again, no. Silent Night, because I have heard it sung in German. It's beautiful in German. We had German radio, and it was all over the place, just beautiful.